Murder in the Rue Morgue.
These are all of her personal effects, Inspector. Cheap stuff, most of it, what you'd expect on the Rue Morgue.
Yes, but worth stealing. Then why didn't he? Obviously a crime of passion, but more brutal than most.
More brutal than any. I wish I hadn't seen the body.
This scarf. Have you identified it yet?
Yes, sir. It's a sailor's scarf of the type made and sold in Malta.
Then we search for a Maltese sailor.
Why? The scarf is Maltese. But the sailor who bought it might be French, English, Italian, any nationality. Or this could have been left deliberately to throw us off the track. Ah, well, perhaps we shall know more after the next.
The next murder? Must there be a next?
These university students, all noise and no money. What can they give you that I can't?
This time he's not a student. And he does have money. Now, what do you think of that?
his face. He really wants to hurt her.
Oh, don't be silly. They do it like this every night. Ask the professor.
Ask me what?
Isn't tonight like every other night?
Of course not.
See, I told you.
This is completely unlike any other night in history. This is the night when I became engaged to the loveliest girl in Paris.
All but the ring.
They're coming too close.
They've been quarreling all evening.
Look, he's cut her arm. It's bleeding.
Serves her right. Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Wait. Who is he? Where'd you get that bracelet? Who is he? Who is he?
You've mauled me enough for one night.
Renee, why bother with her?
Up there.
Gendarme, I saw him. I saw him on the roof.
You saw who?
Running, very heavy set, and so short he could hardly move. And yet, he was very fast.
How was he dressed?
In an opera hat, it looked like, and there was a cape, an Inverness, very long almost as he.
He was long.
Like a steeple, and thin as a rail. First you said he was short. Yes. And so he was.
We were getting ready for bed. We saw no one. And then there was a scream. And Albert...
Albert?
He was the first one here. He crashed through the door. The killer must have still been here when he... Albert! He must have seen him!
Ask him what he saw.
He can never tell. He's dead.
I tell you I didn't do it. Nobody can say I did. She's just trying to make trouble because I liked Yvonne better than I liked her.
Swine! I loathe you. I always did.
Now then I am baffled. You look like a murderer to me, and yet you deny it. So obviously, I'm wrong, huh? The great Lombroso studied the physiognomies of hundreds of criminals. Certain characteristics, for instance, a lack of earlobes. And I notice you have no earlobes.
He never fooled me. I always knew he was a criminal type.
Very observant, huh? Gendarme, you have a theory, of course. All gendarmes have theories, huh?
Yes, sir. He climbed down from the roof on a rope and escaped the very same way.
Oh, but with such speed, this would take an agile man, an athlete.
That's what he is. He used to perform in carnivals.
Wonderful, an acrobat, a trapeze artist, one who hangs by his teeth and whirls, correct?
Yes, but I was injured. I'm no longer capable.
So, a tragedy. You're reduced to throwing knives at a woman. This is an occupation for an invalid?
I didn't say I was an invalid.
Pardon me, my great fault. You know, jumping to conclusions. You say you heard him speak in German.
He's German. Born in Frankfurt. And changed his name.
Oh, better and better, huh? Tell me about your quarrel with Yvonne.
It was unimportant. It was nothing.
He's lying. I heard them quarreling in the dressing room. I heard her say to him, "You mauled me enough for one night."
These crimes of passion. Tell me, what kind of a girl was Yvonne?
Oh, she liked men.
So, is that bad?
The students. They turned her head.
You were with this man last night?
As a peacemaker only. I went to a cafe with him. I tried to calm him, but all he would talk about was Yvonne. How he hated her. How he would like to kill her.
Mm-hmm. And what time was that?
I gave up and left him. Sometime after midnight.
Release him.
Release him?
Release him after what we saw?
And the threats he made.
You left him after midnight. The murder occurred before 12. Thanks to you, Lombroso and I are wrong. Release him.
I still think René is guilty in spite of what...
Inspector, remember that Rue Morgue murder about 3 months ago? The mutilation and the horror? This is practically the same.
It's exactly the same. Well, only now, instead of a sailor's scarf, we have a very romantic sentiment, Le Bon. A symbol of love eternal. Once it is locked, it can never be opened, even by death. It requires a file. Put it with a sailor's scarf. One must start again somewhere. Those photographs of Yvonne's students, please.
Yes, sir.
There you are. Thank you. Young, innocent faces. Not a criminal physiognomy in the lot. It's so much easier to find a criminal who looks like a criminal. touch of your hand made me your eternal slave. You prefer your inscription, monsieur? All right. I'm blessed with riches, knowing I'm the only one. You, monsieur, there is more. But even slaves grow impatient. How impatient, monsieur? Or should I say, how jealous?
I didn't do it, sir. You can ask Professor Dupin. He just become engaged to his assistant, and we were with them at the cabaret. Camille and I.
For how long were you there, mademoiselle?
We left just before 11, sir.
Which gave you plenty of time. The murder didn't occur till nearly 12.
But at 12, Inspector, he was at my place.
We all were, in fact.
And then the professor and I went home.
I must say the university is more liberal than I thought.
Camille's mother happens to be my landlady, Inspector. And as for these two dashing men of the world, I'll be more than glad to vouch for both of them.
Off with you. But remember, do not write foolish things, at least on your own photographs.
So, even slaves grow impatient, huh?
And the police perplexed.
The dark, secret recesses of an unknown brain, Inspector. There's where you'll find your murderer.
Thank you. I shall return to headquarters with this valuable information.
In any case, a schizophrenic, a split personality governed by pronounced sadistic tendencies.
Your field, this psychology? It goes better in the classroom, I think.
We have murder right here in the classroom, Inspector. On a small scale, of course. The Astronatus oculatus. A tropical fish, which unfortunately devours its young. The question is, why? There seems to be a killer instinct, frequently blind and pointless, running through the entire animal kingdom.
I was told to deliver these here from the zoological garden.
Just put them down here. All right, you may go now.
Marais said I was to wait for him.
Your employer is Dr. Marais.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm late. Sorry.
You're just in time. Dr. Marais, Police Inspector Bonham.
How do you do?
Dr. Marais is our guest lecturer today.
Oh, is that so?
The inspector is investigating the murder of last night.
The dancer? Isn't this a queer place to come, Inspector?
It's a very queer murder, Doctor.
Oh, Jacques. I wanted you to take him back.
Why didn't you say so before?
I see your new man came without manners.
He could almost pass for a fellow scientist. These days, Inspector, everything is Freud or it is nothing. Freud and the libido. Anything new, especially from zoologists like myself...
At least has a reception here. Dr. Marais maintains that in all forms of life, from the microbe to man, a killer instinct lies latent.
Held in check for most of us. But for others, igniting under sudden hatred or passion or a crowning frustration or a total collapse of one's beliefs. Even with the gate open, they will not leave their cage to get the food. Not till they hear the bell. Look, look, look. That is how they've been taught. The bell is an integral part of their world.
Not to his world. He didn't move a whisker.
His world collapsed. One day the bell was deliberately withheld. The next day the gate didn't open, and the third day there was no food. Mad Pierre. I call him Mad Pierre. His only instinct is to kill.
Very interesting, Doctor. And if I should discover that our murderer is either a fish or a mouse, I shall, of course, know where to come. Goodbye.
The light is gone. I'm afraid we're through for the day. What a shame the painting is nearly finished. You grow more beautiful with each sitting.
I came here to pose. Understand?
Then I'm afraid I must leave you. Someone more agreeable is waiting for me at the cafe. I must get there before the rain starts.
And just when do I get paid for the work to date?
When the picture is finished and I get paid.
Ha! I'd starve if I had to wait that long.
I doubt it. That expensive bracelet. This cameo brooch. Certainly not cheap. Given you by some rich admirer, no doubt. I think you do very well for yourself, Arlette. Till tomorrow, then. No painting, no pay.
Open up.
Did you see anything?
No. Escape from that roof is impossible. This is the work of a maniac.
He's also something else, sir. Italian, judging from what I heard.
Italian? Madame, you are the concierge. You live in this building.
Yes.
Is one of your tenants Italian?
Signor Pignatelli, on the floor below.
Signor Pignatelli. I must talk to this Signor Pignatelli.
With all the noise in this place, one can even sleep 1 hour. And I gotta get up early in the morning.
Who, may I ask, are you?
I'm Signor Pignatelli from the floor below.
Such agility, eh? Where was he last Wednesday night?
Right here.
Until how late?
Last show begins at 1 in the morning.
It's too late. Much too late. It's a pity. I never saw such an agile man. All right, come. Somewhere we must find a man who fits the crime and the time. Superb. I would like to talk to that young man. Now.
Mad Pierre, as you know, has been driven by frustration into a permanent state of fury. He wants to kill. And given the opportunity, he will kill. Untroubled by thoughts of good or evil, right or wrong. But what of human beings? This is Marie, apparently a deaf-mute, though under hypnosis she can both speak and hear. Perhaps she was always neurotic. All of us are to some degree. Yes. Yes, we are. All of us. But she seemed normal until her husband deserted her. Now, this sense of rejection led her to hate all men. And like Mad Pierre, she wanted to kill. Blindly, indiscriminately. To become a vampire, preying on men. Now, civilization had given her a code of morals. Taught her that some things were good, some things evil. She was torn between her natural impulse and her acquired sense of right and wrong. Now, this inner conflict became too much. Unable to find a release, an outlet, she simply retreated from the world. She not only closed her mind to reality, but she sealed off her senses of speech and hearing as well. In Marie, you have a case of complete withdrawal. The world, with its complex codes of ethics, its man-made definitions of good and evil, can no longer hurt her. But the price? For Marie, it is a living death. Thank you.
Inspector, haven't you given us a clean bill of health yet? Where did you find it?
The jeweler's name is on it. Tracing it to you was very simple. So you admit you knew Arlette?
Arlette?
That artist model who was murdered.
But I bought this brooch for my fiancée, and it was stolen from my apartment.
So you deny you knew Arlette?
Well, of course I deny it.
And well, you might. Arlette hears of your interest in another woman, an attempt at blackmail, murder.
You can't seriously believe that. Oh, Dr. Marais.
Oh, yes.
You can help me, Doctor. Where were you on the night of the 16th?
The 16th? Why, last Wednesday, the same place as you, playing whist with Dr. St. Clair and that young...
Chavigny.
Chavigny.
At what time did you start?
About 8, I suppose. You must be very hard up for suspects, Inspector.
Alibis. They are always so disconcerting. But this one is imperfect. Arlette was killed on the 16th, but before 8 o'clock. However, I would prefer to believe you, for Mademoiselle's sake. So, for the moment, good day.
Good day.
Good day.
The person who stole the brooch must be the murderer.
Now, you are sure it was your brooch?
Without a doubt. This is a new sensation for me. I can't say that I like it. That brooch must have been given to her for the deliberate purpose of implicating me. Why? Why should I be the target?
What kind of a man he is.
Yes, mademoiselle. He has been well named. The Phantom.
It's dreadful. Not knowing who to run from or even beware of until it's too late.
Before, mademoiselle, but not now. The police everywhere are alerted. He wouldn't dare strike again.
It was nice of you to walk me home.
A pleasure. I have much to thank the Phantom for. Every frightened girl in my beat wants me to walk her home. The next one is due shortly, so I must be on hand.
Good night.
Naturally, for such a pleasant duty. I only wish the walk could be longer.
Perhaps you could stop in for a glass of wine.
Shall we say half a glass? In times like these, one must remain alert.
Look! What was it?
Don't move or I'll shoot. Who are you?
Detective Mignot. I've been shadowing you since the murder of the model Arlette.
But you don't understand. I've been chasing the murderer.
So have I. And now I've found him. Your hands, if you please.
Where is she? The windows. Try the windows.
Locked. A nail, sir, both of them.
They can't be. With the door locked too, he had to get in and out some way.
We'll know soon. They've got him.
Excuse me, please.
You. I thought so.
Thought what? That I'd be fool enough to murder someone right in my own lodging house?
So this is a murder, is it? Thank you for a most valuable piece of information, which only you could know.
What do you mean? Everybody heard her scream?
Screams don't make a murder, only a corpse. And as yet, Professor, we have found no corpse.
What kind of trick is this?
A very good one. To commit a crime in your own house, you have to be very clever, no? To pile mystery upon mystery. A locked door, locked windows, and the crowning achievement, no corpse. But at least we have the murderer. Thanks to Mignot. Search him.
Thanks to Mignot, the murderer escaped. If he hadn't stopped me, I might have caught him.
Oh, you were chasing a murderer, isn't it? What was he? A fish or a mouse?
I had no chance to see him clearly. I was starting to shave when something landed on the next roof. I started after him.
Hand me that.
I was going to show you that. The murderer must have dropped it.
Mm-hmm. Let's say you should have dropped it. You've completed the pattern, Professor. Look for the rest of it. Put yourself in the locked room, monsieur. Here is our corpse, wedged tight. Get her down. Look at it. The guillotine is too merciful, monsieur.
How do you think I feel? That girl was a friend, a student of mine. Of course the guillotine is too merciful if I were guilty. First the brooch, and now this. I tell you, this is a deliberate plot.
Your own plot. That failed.
Not yet. Why do you say the windows were locked when you know they couldn't be?
You call me a liar, monsieur? Not only locked, but also nailed. What have you to say to that?
Simply that, with the door locked, one of these windows must have opened, or the murderer would still be in here.
Try it yourself.
Inspector, try to raise the window when I press this catch.
Well?
Then it must be the other.
Of course. It must be the other.
And don't forget the catch, Inspector, at the top.
Of course, the catch.
You see? The nails didn't go through. They're broken off at the frame. Only the spring catch was holding it. Not very well, as you see. The catch was defective, too. So when the killer left, the window closed of its own weight. Proof enough?
Prove that you know this room very well.
I was never in it in my life. We have just examined the roof, sir, thinking he might have used the rope to enter or escape. But there is no possible way he could have attached it.
I knew it.
The cuts on the body could have been made with a knife or this razor. PD. Your initials, monsieur?
I admit the razor's mine. I must have dropped it on the roof. That doesn't prove I killed her with it. The body was found up this chimney. Does that prove I put it there? Be logical. Do you think I have the strength to wedge a body so tightly up this chimney it took 4 men to get it out?
As you so logically said about the window, that it must open. You must have had the strength, because the body was there. Take him away.
Assassin himself, eh?
Paul Dupin. The artist studio where he killed the model. Paul! Paul, we read they were going to bring you here.
You believe me, don't you?
Yes, you know I do, Paul.
Look, you're making up to that maniac.
She wants to be murdered, too.
Take your hands off, Doctor.
Take care of it, I'm free.
I will. The more I see of people like this, the better I like my zoo.
What would you say, Lupin? Exactly as when you last saw it,
I'd say you're wasting your time, Inspector. I won't be shocked into confessing.
Ready when you are, sir.
Unlike him. Your callousness always amazes me. Until I remember that to commit such crimes, a man must be very callous.
And daring to break through that. Not actually insane.
All of you have heard his voice now. Have any of you heard it before?
Yes, it is the same voice that came from this room.
You're lying. You'd identify any voice right now.
Especially then, when he's angry.
Exactly the same, except for the words, of course.
You reported he spoke in Italian.
Italian? Do you know Italian?
Well, what's it matter? I know how it sounds.
I know how it speaks. It's my own tongue. It was not Italian, but Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah.
And just what was it I said in Spanish?
I do not pretend to understand the words, senor.
But of course you know how they sound.
Yes.
Exactly like your witness at the murder of Yvonne, who swore it was German he heard without knowing any German himself. You call these competent witnesses?
Competent enough. Your scholastic record, describing your proficiency in German, Italian, Spanish. Up with him. We shall now explore your movements after you murder the girl. Your escape had me puzzled for some time, until I noticed those torn awnings.
And what does that prove?
It proves the manner in which you made your getaway. Now just watch.
You can make it.
You'll never make it. Can't you see that?
Go on.
well, Inspector.
With you, it was life or death. With him, it's only a job.
No, with him, it was arms spread. It would have been the same with me. Look at that distance. There isn't anything human with a reach that wide.
Now, come, let's go back.
Anything human. Inspector, what about something not human?
Oh. Something like yourself, you mean?
Doesn't it occur to you now? Not even a glimpse of the truth? A killer agile enough, with reach enough to travel like that across Paris? Wild enough to crash through this glass? Strong enough to jam a body up a chimney? A killer who spoke in a tongue so foreign that no foreigner could recognize it. Why? Because it was no human tongue. That's right. An animal.
What? You saw those bodies at the morgue. What kind of an animal?
An animal with hands. An ape.
An ape? Gigantic, powerful, untamed. A phantom of your own imagination, of course. Born out of pure desperation. A phantom ape.
A real ape.
All right. I suppose our ape went out and bought this bracelet for each of those girls before he killed her. Huh? Tinkling bells. Our ape has an ear for music, no doubt. You don't have to prove you're insane, Dupin. We already know it. Just don't try to prove we are.
Wait, Bernard. Listen to me.
I'll listen to you when you confess. Not until. Take him up.
I haven't seen you in years.
You made a mistake.
Hey, it's me, Maurice. We shipped out of Malta together. You remember?
You never shipped anywhere with me.
You think I could forget that face? No more than I could forget your little pet. An ape he had, a regular monster he picked up in Madagascar. Clawed his eye out for him. One night in Colombo, the ape got loose. And one of your thing happened.
Maurice. Your name is Maurice, you say?
Now you remember.
Of course. The cognac they serve here deadens the brain. A bigger fool for not drinking my own. I have some in my kit bag outside. Will you have a drink with me?
Sure, Jacques. Sure.
Let's go. Down there, by the river.
A queer place to keep one's cognac. I mean, for someone else it would be queer. Shall I tell you what the boys on a ship used to say? Instead of Jacques ape, and Jacques, Jacques apes his ape.
It's down there, in the boat. I hope some fisherman didn't see me hide it. Take a look.
Sure. Thanks, Jacques. I can't find anything.
good, Doctor. These two came from the Amazon.
Magnificent specimens. This new shipment should give us the finest collection in Europe.
Yes, Doctor.
Jeanette! I began to wonder if you'd ever get my message.
I've been terribly upset, as you can imagine, between visiting Paul and trying to run the laboratory without him. But it isn't any use. Without him, it isn't a laboratory anymore.
It's about time you were getting away from there for a while and all the things that remind you of Paul. Now here you can think of something new. And you can be a big help to me besides.
You are a psychologist, aren't you? How can I ever thank you?
Careless again, huh, Jock?
I'll get it.
You were frightened. He's perfectly harmless.
I don't think it was he so much that frightened.
Jacques? I promise you he will never set foot in the laboratory. Come. I'm afraid you will find things very untidy.
I was about to compliment you on how neat everything is. It looks as if your assistant had just this moment left. What beautiful handwriting. It's quite a challenge to me.
A description of the two Grant's gazelles we had just purchased from the Hamburg Zoo. Yeah, I can remember the day they arrived and how excited we all were. That was 5 years ago.
5 years?
Yes.
And the pen's still lying there?
You see, my assistant was also my wife. She died that night.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Perhaps I've been too sentimental. But as a psychologist, as well as a zookeeper, I believe it is better to face an emotion than to lock it up inside. Jeanette, come. I wouldn't show this to anyone but you. This was her bedroom just as she left it.
It almost makes you feel as if she might come back at any moment.
For a long time, I wanted to feel that. She liked foolish little things like this. I suppose it helped her forget that she was living in a house surrounded by lions and tigers.
You mean she was afraid? Is that the reason for those bars?
Yes. I used to tell her she had never grown up. But you won't be afraid, will you, Jeanette? It was painted shortly before she died.
So young.
Too young. She killed herself. Now do you understand my interest in psychology, my desperate wish to understand the human mind? Hers and mine. You are about to see our prized possession. Forbidden not only to the public, but to most of the employees as well.
It sounds very mysterious.
Yes, but like most mysteries, the explanation is very simple.
I think you're as excited as I am. Like a sculptor about to unveil his masterwork.
True. but I wouldn't unveil it for anyone but you.
You want the ball, son? Take the ball. Here you are, son. Take the ball, son. Take the ball. Here you are, son. Take the ball, son. Don't you want the ball, son? Here you are. Take the ball. Come on, son. Here. Look at you.
Now I know why you keep people away from here.
Not because he's dangerous, but gorillas are very imitative. Let them watch people and they pick up all sorts of human tricks. No, I keep him secluded in order to test his native intelligence. See this ball? Blocks, things you see here? More than toys. So far, he's demonstrated an intelligence about equal to a 3-year-old child.
A very large child.
And just as friendly. Watch. This is nothing I taught him. It is a gorilla's way of showing affection, trust. Like shaking hands.
If he doesn't bite it off, he's friendly.
Exactly. Jacques hasn't yet been honored. Makes you jealous, doesn't it? Huh? Jeanette. Step a little closer. Let's see what he'll do.
Oh, I'm not sure I want to see.
You should feel very flattered. But I was sure he was going to like you.
I think I'd better go now. First visit should be short and formal.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow. You go along back to the office and I'll join you there.
All right.
You shouldn't have brought her here.
You could learn a lot from her, Jacques. No wonder he hates you. He knows you're afraid. Go up there. Go up there. Smell of fear. Reek of it. But her, Jacques. Her, did you watch her?
Stop me! Stop me!
Something. Watch. 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 Again, you can thank me for saving you, Jacques.
I'll thank you for nothing. He was my pet. You made a killer of him, not me.
Had you forgotten the Rue Morgue so easily? He killed before I ever saw him.
That was an accident. I'd gone to the police then if I only hadn't listened to you. But you scare me.
Didn't they find your scarf there? You were fortunate that it was I who tracked you down and not the police.
You expect the police to remain blind forever? You put both our necks under the guillotine.
All that is over.
Over? For how long? Because you think you've put Dupin out of the way? She'll turn you down like all the rest.
Not like the rest. Not at all like the rest. Even he senses it. She has courage, understanding. If I had met her sooner, there would have been no others.
But you've said that each time.
Like all stupid people, you frighten too easily. The police have their murder. The episode is ended. Ended for good.
I hope you don't mind my coming here. But after what you told me about her, I wanted to see her again. And try and understand.
I would mind. If it were anyone but you. But you belong here even more than she did.
You can't mean that.
I do mean it. Jeanette, don't you realize you have to live your own life now? For yourself. Not for a man in prison who may never be coming back.
I have more faith in justice than that.
Assuming that he's innocent.
Knowing that he is.
Jeanette, if the worst should happen, if we have to face this tragedy, can't we face it together? Jeanette, what happened just now? You do understand, don't you?
No, I don't understand. I don't understand anything. How you can talk that way about Paul. How you can forget what this room means to you. Please, please, let me go. Let me go before I say the things I really feel. Let me go.
What are the things you really feel?
I don't know. Your voice, the touch of your hand. They're frightening. Yes, frightening. Now I know what I see in her eyes. Fear. She was frightened, too.
If this is the way you feel, then I've been wrong. Wrong in everything I've tried to do wrong all along. I forgot. It's for you. From Paul. He had me buy it for him.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. I'm sorry.
Not goodbye. Not just yet.
What do you mean?
Once I thought you were a psychologist, a scientist. I thought you could be the one to understand me, but no. No, you're an emotional child, just like she was. She's just like you, like all the rest, loathing me, hating me.
Those bars! They weren't put there to protect her. They were to keep her here. What did you do to her?
Nothing. Nothing compared to what she did to me. She repaid my love with a supreme insult, the ultimate in rejection. She proved that she preferred death to me.
Marie. Marie, the deaf mute you showed us. Rejected by her husband. Oh, no wonder you understood her so well. You're as mad as she is.
Oh. Now, I have a trained mind. I can protect my sanity. But after what she did to me, I wished I had killed her. And I wanted to kill all others like her. But the world says thou shalt not kill. Now, was I to allow myself to become another Marie? Driven into a shell by man-made notions of good and evil? No, no. I had to have a release, and I found it. No one will hear it. I have strict rules here. No one is to come near my house.
Please, please let me go. No matter what you told me, I won't tell anyone. Just let me go. Please let me go. Please.
Why, you have nothing to fear from me. I have never killed anyone. My foolish man-made conscience is as clean as my hands.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
You stupid fool! I'll find him. I have to.
Come in, Dupin. I've heard you're ready to confess.
You said I couldn't reach you until I did. I found out you're right.
Guard, unlock him.
You can tell us all about apes to your heart's content, Professor, once we have your signature.
Your confession. Already written.
You were right about something else, Inspector. An ape could hardly have bought these, but then a man could, for the ape.
Of course, but right
now... A
now...
man familiar with conditioned reflexes.
And you may lecture on that fascinating subject as well.
You have already had that lecture, Inspector. From the man who developed the subject. The little white mice that respond to the bell.
What has this to do with your confession?
Everything! It was only when you showed me these that I began to see the whole truth. Because just as a mouse can be controlled by a bell, so can an ape by these. The only way those murders could have been committed. Hand this confession to Dr. Marais.
Marais?
You remember that experiment with the mice? He was showing us how he killed. And his lecture that day with poor lost Marie, he was actually telling us why he killed. Marais, that was part of it, too. Not many would have had such a chance to come in contact with this. I tell you, there's no time to lose. Well, have you understood nothing? Why am I here? Why did he leave this with Arlette? And why pick Camille, of all people, to murder next? Why else but to implicate me and clear his path to Jeanette? Don't you see she'll be next? You've got to do something, Bernard.
I will. I will remember you all my life.
You don't believe me.
Believe you?
Guards, wait, Bernard. At least investigate what I've told you. At least see if I'm right. Promise me you will.
You will live in history, Dupin. Your picture will hang in the rogues' gallery. That's what I promise you.
Inspector, I just saw. He has struck again.
What are you trying to say?
He has just murdered another woman, a dressmaker. At first, we thought it was only a mannequin. But when we looked in the shop beyond, a body. Murdered, mutilated like all the rest.
You fool. How could he have? It's impossible.
It is not impossible. I saw it with my own eyes.
You're overwrought, my dear. I tell you, this is utterly fantastic. Now it's supposed to be light. But don't doubt my horses. No man could drive him crazy like that.
But I saw it with my own eyes. And what it was...
What, madam?
That's what it was. An ape.
An ape?
And the man who was with it. A well-dressed kind of man. And they dropped out of sight, down a manhole.
Sultan! Sultan! Good luck. Surround the place. Break it down. Over there. He has Jeanette. A rifle, quickly. You find Murray. A life net. Hurry. Inspector, we have Murray. Bring him here.
Murray, however you control that beast, do it now. Don't you understand? Get him down.
He will obey. Sultan will obey. Sultan! Watch! Sultan! Kill! Kill Sultan! Murray, no! No, Murray! Quiet! All right, use it!
last link, mademoiselle, between you and the animal kingdom. To say nothing of you and the police, Professor. There you are.
You thought you were getting a bracelet from me, so I suppose I better make good.
Oh, thank you.
And try the catch.
It won't come off.
The only good idea Marais ever had. It's on for life.
But no bells.
The church will supply the bells.